Hello guys, welcome to Greta Talks channel. Till now, peace and happiness prevailed in Ayodhya. King Dashrath's four sons were happily living their marital lives. There had to be a turning point in the life of Sriram to enable him to leave Ayodhya and proceed towards his mission of confronting demon king Ravan, his struggle to put an end to his tyranny and build the foundation of virtues. So, in this episode, Queen Kaikeyi and her maid Manthara play an instrumental role to make Sriram pursue his mission. King Dashrath had become old, due to which he found himself incapable to handle the administration of his kingdom. He wished to retire and spend his old age chanting the name of God. He had decided to hand over the responsibility of the kingdom to his elder son Sriram by declaring him the heir, that is, future king. The king expressed his desire to sage Vasishtha, older and experienced ministers, other stalwarts, and asked for their consensus. Everyone had great affection for Sriram and they firmly believed that he was capable to become the king. So they readily accepted the proposal of King Dashrath. As soon as King Dashrath received the permission of all the stalwarts, he decided to coronate Sriram as the future king without any delay. He informed his queens about this decision, which delighted the queens. Sriram was their apple of eye and they were eager to see Sriram and Sita seated on the throne. Sage Vasishtha readily fulfilled the preparations for the coronation ceremony. The jubilant subjects decorated the whole city of Ayodhya. The ceremony was planned the next day in the early morning. All the preparations were executed, but Bharat and Shatrughna were not present for the ceremony. As the decision of the execution of the ceremony was taken hastily, it was impossible for Bharat and Shatrughna to reach Ayodhya in short time. The auspicious day of the ceremony dawned. The whole city of Ayodhya was decorated with the scented flowers and aromatic perfumes. The cheerful citizens had worn rich costumes and ornaments. The singers and dancers were merrily performing their arts. The sky was filled with the sound of Shehnai and drums played by the artists on this auspicious occasion. Everyone was happy except Manthara, whose mind was filled with the jealousy. Manthara, who had a hunchback, was the maid of Queen Kaikeyi. She had served Queen Kaikeyi ever since her childhood. She could not bear the thought of the coronation ceremony of Sriram. She entered the palace of Kaikeyi and said, "Why are you calm at the moment of the denial of your happiness? Are you aware of the fact that Sriram is going to become the heir of Ayodhya?" Kaikeyi smiled and said, "Oh really? No news can be better than this news." Manthara said, "Oh, you are really an ignorant fool. If Sriram will become a king, you will lose your status and even Bharat will lose his prestige. Bharat will have to spend his entire life in slavery, following Sriram's orders and serving him." Kaikeyi said, "How is it possible? Sriram has lot of affection for Bharat." Manthara said, "Oh, you are really naive. Sriram's love for Bharat is just a show off. This love will perish once Sriram becomes the king. Be cautious, as you will not gain any recognition in comparison to Queen Kaushalya. If you lose this moment, you will have nothing but repentance and the sense of futility throughout your entire life." At the outset, Manthara's evil thoughts did not have emotional impact on Kaikeyi, but later Kaikeyi was shattered due to the dreadful thoughts and awful imagination put forth by Manthara. She lost the balance of her mind. Her thoughts were fully controlled by Kali, that is, evil thoughts. Anger and jealousy reflected the malicious side of her nature. She removed her ornaments, untied her hair knot, biting her lips with her teeth, and started rubbing the palms of her hand. She started plotting the ways to evade the ceremony. This scheming was done and conveyed to her by Manthara. She reminded Kaikeyi about the war which took place between gods and the demons in the past. Kaikeyi had once protected the injured King Dashrath and had saved his life. The king, pleased by her act, had told her to ask for 2 boons from him as the reward. She had told the king to ask for the boons in the future when required. Manthara said to Kaikeyi, "Now it is the right time to demand the 2 boons. 1 boon will enable Bharat to become the king of Ayodhya, and the second boon will send Sriram to an exile for 14 years. Kaikeyi was puzzled and she said, "Oh, it is all right to demand the kingship for Bharat, but it is unjust to send Sriram for an exile." Manthara said, "Hey, do you think Sriram will show mercy to Bharat after he will be conferred kingship? Sriram will devise various difficulties for Bharat and compel him to leave his authority. Then finally, Sriram will grab the crown from Bharat. So don't waver, just demand for the 2 boons and put an end to this catastrophic situation." Meantime, King Dashrath entered Kaikeyi's palace to inquire about her well-being. Queen Kaikeyi was the most favorite queen of King Dashrath. The king was horrified to see the gloomy dress and appearance of Kaikeyi, as he was accustomed to see her pleasant, smiling face greeting him in her palace. When the king inquired about her comfort, in a fit of rage she replied, "You have doomed me and Bharat by offering the kingship to Sriram." King Dashrath was taken aback to hear the reply of Kaikeyi. Then in a thundering voice, Kaikeyi said, "I won't tolerate this deed. I won't allow this conspiracy to succeed. O king, do you remember your 2 boons promised to be given to me in the past? Today I am going to demand those 2 boons from you. The heirs of Raghu dynasty regard the tradition of adhering to the given promise, even at the cost of sacrificing their lives, and I hope you are aware of it. As per the first boon, I demand kingship for Bharat, and according to the second boon, Sriram should be sent to an exile for 14 years. On hearing this demand, severely grieved King Dashrath fell unconscious. He was thunderstruck and choked. Though he felt helpless, depressed, caught in a tight spot, he tried to convince Kaikeyi, but his efforts went in vain, as adamant Kaikeyi did not give up her demands. Jealousy had fully obsessed her mind. So friends, the takeaway of this episode is to win over the people by the virtuous nature like Sriram, to take consensus of elders, experienced people, in order to take important decisions like King Dashrath, to ward off the covetous people like Manthara, to give up vices like selfishness, greed, wavering thoughts, stubbornness, in which Kaikeyi's mind was trapped. Hope you like this story. So stay tuned for the next episode, in which Sriram reveals himself as a devoted and compliant person. Thank you so much and goodbye.